Hey Star Scholars, welcome back. And in our last live video, we looked at how to cut a top. Yes. So in this tutorial, we're going to look at how to cut a skirt. This is the fabric I'm going to use. The skirt we are going to be learning is a fitted skirt, a straight skirt. That's the skirt we're going to be learning in this tutorial. Okay, so this basically your ruler and curve ruler is enough, and I'm more of freehand. So can we do freehand? But you will need your ruler anyway to connect your measurements. So first of all, okay. Sorry guys, I'm trying to make another video here. Okay. So we have our fabric here. So you fold your fabric into 4. Please watch as I'm doing this. You fold your fabric into 4. Remember in our last tutorial, we mentioned that folding your fabric into 4, first of all, you need to fold the back of your fabric. You need to fold it, the back, from the back of your fabric. Then, the next thing you need to determine is for the skirts, just like for the top, the bust measurement, because it's the wider part of your upper body, okay? Or from your torso down, the hips is the wider part of your lower body. So for the top, we used the bust measurement to determine the folding of the fabric, and in the same way we're going to use the hips measurement for the folding of the fabric. Okay, now so hips divided by 4, hips is size 44, divided by 4 will give you 11. Let's see if we have up to 11 here. Yes, we have up to 11 here. I have already folded by 4 and we have up to 11 here. Now I'm going to be leaving, I left 2 inches here after folding. As you can see, I left allowance here. It's up to 2 inches, and this allowance is called zip allowance. Okay, this is called zip allowance. So this is for zip allowance. Now the next thing is, after that, after you've taken out this zip allowance and you're sure that after folding your hips measurement was able to, after folding it, your hips measurement is enough. Not just the hips measurement, you're going to add 1 inch or 2 inches for seam allowance to your hips measurement. Now, for example, if my hips is 44 and I divide it into 4, it will give me 11, right? And then I add 2 inches seam allowance. I always use 2 inches for beginners, for basic classes, because the the 2 inches will enable you to correct any errors in case when you're done and eventually maybe your skirt is tight for one reason or the other, maybe you didn't get to measure your skirt correctly. So 2 inches is enough for seam allowance to make any amendments or correction. Or perhaps if you're done, if you make your skirt or your outfit and it fits perfectly, okay, maybe someday you grow bigger or something, you will be able to, you know, loosen the seam and then readjust it, make amends, open the seam, and then, you know, just take your measurement and sew again. So that's why 2 inches seam allowance is required for basic students. Now, now that we have 11 here for the hips measurement and adding 2 inches, we have 13 here. So it's perfect. This is for the fold after folding. So now that we folded it into 4, using the hip measurement as the basis for folding, we'll go ahead and take other measurements. Now I have this tip here. I have this tip here that is not so equal. And what am I going to do? I'm going to cut it out so that I can have an even now. This is even and equal now. Okay, I will then go ahead and take the measurements respectively to measure on the fabric. Now, what are the things that you need to determine the skirt measurement? For the skirts, you need your waist, you need your hips, and then the full length. Okay, your waist, the hips, and the full length of the skirt. Usually your skirt length is determined by where you want the length to get to. Is it mini skirt? Is it midi skirt? Is it 3/4 skirt? Is it long skirt? So it all depends on what you want, what you want to achieve. So for us here, we're just going to make use of the whole of this fabric. Because what we have here is not so long, and so would have the length of the skirt we have here is 29. Now this full length here is 29. If you're taking your own, the full length, your full length plus 1 inch for the waist area, another 1 inch for the hemming. Okay, if you're going to use lining to line both sides, you're going to need 1/2 inch for the waist, 1/2 inch for the down part to hem both sides, both the upper part and the lower part. What I'm trying to say is this 27 inches, when you add 1/2 inch for the waist and 1/2 inch for the hemming, you have 1 inch, right? So your total full length should be 28, so that by the time you cut out your lining, okay, you will now use 1/2 inch to sew your waist, fold it into the skirt, fold the down part and fold it, then you'll be back to 27. But if you're going to use band, waistband, what are you going to do? If you're using a band of 2 inches, take that aside. So 2 inches minus 27 will give you 25. So you're going to be having like 25 full length. You add your hemming allowance, which is 1 inch, and add 1/2 inch again, which is for the band. So you have 26.5. All right, for your full length. For the band that is 2 inches, you will add 1 inch. You add 1/2 inch, okay, so that by the time you join it to the waist, it will come back to 2 inches for the band. All right. And then when you calculate, by the time you also fold in the 1 inch for the hemming, you will come back to 25 full length after sewing. By the time you now join your 25 here and the 2 inches band that has already been joined to the skirt and take your measurement, you will have 27 inches full length. Okay, now let's get started. We'll take this thing one after the other. So let's not go for the band, let's just do the measurement of the skirt directly. Okay, so the waist is 32 divided by 4 will give you 8. You take your measurement from this point, all right, this folded point. Your waist is at the beginning of here. Waist is 32 inches. 32 inches divided by 4 will give you 8. You mark it out, 8 inches. You can see it, 8 inches. Okay, now you add that allowance. Remember that, right? That allowance is 1 inch. And then you add 2 inches seam allowance. You now have a total of 11 inches for the waist. Then you come down to the hips. How do we get our hips? From the waist, standard measurement is measuring 9 inches from the waist down. So this is 9 inches. This is 9 inches. Okay? You mark it out. So from here, hips is 44 inches. 44 divided by 4 will give you 11. 11 plus 2 inches seam allowance will give us 13. What are we trying to make? A straight skirt, right? So go ahead and connect the measurements. This is the waist to the hips. Okay? The waist to the hips. So you come, and this is straight. You take your ruler straight. Okay? Now, this curve area for the hips, you need to curve it in. You need to what? Curve it in. You can use your curve ruler and do so. So we have curved it in. The essence of curving this hips in is so that when you wear it, it would lap on your hips perfectly. Okay, not the one that you wear. You will thin ears. All right, to just point out. So you need to curve in your hips so that it would curve in perfectly. Now this is how to cut a straight. How to mark out a straight skirt. So like I said, the skirt tutorial is very simple. Are you seeing the line? Are you seeing the line? Did you see the curving? Did you see the lines? The dot line, the actual measurements of the waist, the dot allowance and the seam allowance. Go down to the hips and then the seam allowance. And then you see this extra here, the zip allowance, okay? Thank you for joining. Those that are live, thank you for joining. Thank you. You said I look good today. Like this. I just had to look for a face cap to cover my unkept hair. And I couldn't just find something to wear, and I put this, and it's so comfy. Anyways, thank you. I'm blushing. Thank you very much. So back to work. Now we are done. I said skirt is easy. There is no hanky panky, very easy. Skirt is easy. Like the easiest tutorial you should learn in sewing. Skirt is easy. So we'll go ahead and cut it out. I need to show you. Okay. Okay, there you go. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing the curve, the hips? Okay, so this is how to cut a skirt. Easy peasy. And look what we have here. This is a straight skirt. And so by the time you want to sew, this is how you're going to place it on your sewing machine. You bring this here into here. And you bring this here into here. And that's it. That's it. I would have said let's learn how to make a band, but the time is fast spent. I'm going to do that in a separate video so that you can go ahead and watch it. It's not going to be live, okay? You just go ahead and watch it. Immediately after this, just go to the channel and look for the video and watch it. So I don't want us to take so much time on this live so that it will not be cumbersome, if that's the right word to use. All right, thank you so much and see you. Bye-bye. I'll see you on Tuesday for another tutorial. Cheers.